right, so hello everyone and welcome to Texas REIAs. I'm Shanoa Grove. I'm the founder of Texas REIAs. We are here in Dallas tonight, so excited to be here with everybody. We are live and in person, so we got a lot of folks live in the room. And there must be something going on because so many people who have just said, I'm just going to sit in the furthest back row possible. I don't even have my glasses on. You look kind of blurry from here, but I hope my screen and my slides show up for you so that you can actually be able to see the presentation with us. I want to take a little bit of time before we get started with the market update, before we get started with the tip of the week, before we get started with sharing some additional tribal knowledge with you guys over the course of this evening. I want to spend a little bit of time getting to know you. So if you don't mind, if you'll be kind enough to play along with me. So I'll ask you a little bit about what brought you here, what you're looking to learn, and how we can be of service to you as part of Texas REIAs. More educated on wholesaling. Okay, good. Anybody else here interested in wholesaling specifically? Okay, a couple of you guys, in fact, a lot of you guys. So I will tell you, we will do our job, which is we'll talk about wholesaling tonight. But we also want to do what as we're all here together? I want to expand your knowledge beyond wholesaling. I want to expand your income beyond wholesaling. I want to expand your wealth beyond wholesaling. I want you to think of wholesaling as something that you just do opportunistically when you want to make an extra $5,000 or $10,000. But I want you to really break into what I would call the big bucks or the big money, which is doing what are some of the other strategies we use as real estate investors to get into the big bucks? Rehabbing. Yeah, rehabbing is both big money as well as big risk. Someone says headache. I don't know, headache, money. Yeah, I'll take a couple of Excedrins and then we'll be good with it. But let's just talk about wholesaling really quickly. So tell me what you know about wholesaling so far in terms of what you've done or what you've learned, and I'll tell you, I might drop a little bit of tribal knowledge and share with you how you could maybe improve a little bit as well. So tell me what you're doing right now or how you're thinking about doing wholesaling. Probate cases. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Yes. Trek contract. Yes. I'm repeating back just so everyone who's also watching later can see it too. Keep going. Yeah. Okay. The assignment agreement. Yep. Mm-hmm. She's looking at you and you and you and you. She's like, I'm going to get some eye contact. I've got this. Good. Smart. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, wonderful. So can I give you a couple little tweaks to this? Has anybody in here ever marketed to the probate list? Okay, one person. I don't know if you want to share some of your experience. I'll share some of mine. That is one of the longest leads to deal fruition out of almost all of the different strategies marketing strategies that you can use as a real estate investor. Why is that? Why is that? Because why? The heirs, yeah. So sometimes you'll literally get someone who says, "Are you kidding me? My spouse, my brother, my sister, my aunt, my uncle has only been dead 3 months. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right here? You really want to come and he's barely even cold in the grave. You got to be ready for that one." And then you're going to call people where the person passed a year ago. And you know what they're going to say? "Are you kidding me? They're barely dead in their grave. And you're really coming after this house? You want me to go and pick the rings off of him that we buried him with next?" Be ready for that. So what I'm trying to explain to you is a lot of heirs, and unless it says the estate of, so then you know that there's probably an executor or an executrix on it. So they're still, in many cases, reeling. And how long do people reel from and kind of deal with death? it varies, right? Some people are like, oh man, he could have died like 3 years ago and I would have been happy. And other people are like, this was the love of my life and I am devastated and I'm going to be devastated for years. So I want you to be aware of that. And then there's also the kind of the phenomena of waiting for that property to go through probate, right? So how long does that take? In some cases, months and months and months and months. And that's only if everyone is doing what? Cooperating, yes. And then we know how everyone cooperates with their brothers and sisters, yes? So it's so funny. Like I'll tell you, one of my favorite stories about a probate lead that I worked is, I asked the person, well, do you have any, other brothers or sisters? No brothers or sisters, just me. And we get to the title company. The title company's like, they have other brothers and sisters. And so I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So I talked to the person who I was originally talking to and I said, well, hold on. Title company said that you had 2 other brothers. And the first response was, well, that brother's dead. How does that work when you get to probate? I'll tell you guys. The other one was, well, that brother's in jail. Okay. What about your sister? Well, nobody really ever liked that sister anyway. That's heir. That's called, you can write this down. HEIR, heir logic. Okay. Which is nobody ever liked them. They're dead or they're in jail. Okay. So that's how they think that they don't have to deal with that. And they don't have to bring them into the decisions. They don't have to bring them into the sale. So is that how the Texas law works? Heir logic? Does Texas law use heir logic? No, they do not. They use the law and they follow a certain system. So when you are talking to a probate lead, be sure to ask, hey, I know this is going to be a really uncomfortable and very awkward question, but I just want to get through it before, somebody else does, because people are going to find out, right? Do you have any other brothers or sisters? And I'm also talking about the ones that might be dead, the ones that might be in jail, or the ones that you might not like, okay? Or the ones that might be in other states, or the ones that might be in other countries. Because I think with dating, sometimes when kind of young kids are dating, they use something called like the 100-mile rule, right? I'm looking at some of my young people in here. And you already know that. It's like, oh, we're I'm on, this is a vacation rule. Someone's laughing. I see you laughing. I know who you are. Don't date him, ladies. I'm kidding. So sometimes they'll use they're out of state or they're out of the country logic, right? Which is also not good logic. So I would suggest to you, when you're working with these people, to really ask those tough and very difficult questions before you get, so I like to say, and it's not me, it's Mike Tyson's former coach. He said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? I don't want any of those extra heirs to come in and punch you in the face. Now, how do you deal with someone who's in jail? I didn't know we were going to be talking about jail tonight, but what the heck, okay? How do you deal with someone who's in jail? How do you buy a house from someone who's in jail? The notaries go... The notary, yes, it's easy. In a lot of cases, there are notaries already at the jail or there are notaries that go to the jail on certain days, right? How do you incentivize them to sign anything that you want them to sign? You put money in their commissary, right? And all of a sudden they're very much more pliable, right? How do you deal with an heir who is dead? You talk to their heirs, right? And so you got to go and find them as well. How do you deal with the heir that no one likes? That's probably going to be harder than the dead people and probably going to be harder than the people that are in jail, right? So sometimes they're blockers, right? So they're going to say, I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to sign, or mom really liked me more, or mom never liked me, so I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do this for the other child. So be ready for, my other sibling. So be ready for that as well. The people who are out of the country, how do you handle that? Easy, same things. They're just going to go to the consulate in whatever country that they're in, and they're going to get it signed that way. But what I'm trying to tell you is truth is stranger than fiction. And never is that saying more true than when it comes to real estate investing. And never is that saying more true in real estate investing than when it comes to probate. Okay. So I love that strategy. I love probate leads. But you have to prepare yourself that in a typical situation, those probate leads are not going to turn over immediately into deals, into money. They have a longer runway, but once you get going, they're ones that are like a rocket ship, right? So it's a great strategy. I love that strategy, but I would put in other strategies for marketing that might have a shorter runway that might get you to where you ultimately want to go a little bit faster. So that's my experience with probate. You said, sir, you've also done some probate marketing. Do you want to share any of your experience as well? Still in process, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Absentee owners, yeah, yeah. Good, yeah, yeah. hmm Yeah, yes. They want retail price, yeah, and or they're angry, yeah. The people that you're marketing to want to sell retail. I just want to make sure everyone can get this too, yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is actually a little bit around the tip of the week, and actually have like double tips of the week. So, what do you guys do when you have a lead who wants full retail? Someone says negotiate. Don't you think he's tried that? What do you do? What are you doing? And they're like, nope. I've talked to 18 of you. You're number 18 today. You convince them. What do you do if you got other offers in there? What do you do? Offer cash? Yes, everyone's offering cash. What else are you going to bring to the table? Somewhere to live. Yes, that's good. Did you guys get that? I want to go off on a little tangent. Did you hear what she just said? Find them somewhere to live. Has anybody read that in the real estate investing playbook? Anybody? Let me tell you, it's not written in the real estate investing playbook. But if you want to win, you're going to find them someplace to live. So please write this down. The things that you got in this business to do. The things that you got in this business to do. And I know what I got in this business to do. I got in this business to buy, fix, and flip houses, right? Make income, grow wealth, right? Live in great houses along the way as well. The things that you got in this business to do are only the things that you get to do after you do all sorts of crazy stuff that you had no idea on this planet Earth that you would ever have to do, including find them a place to live. Find them a place to live. So do you guys understand how critical some of these different things may be as well? So that's what I want you to take into account as well, because I'll tell you, I have found people places to live. I have paid for them for places to live. I have boxed up all of their stuff. I've rented them vans to be able to move, and I have moved them. I have moved dogs. I have moved cats. I have given them lease backs. I have done all of these things that were not part of the real estate investor playbook. So if you guys can differentiate yourself by offering those types of services and being able to back them up, then that is one way to win, because at the end of the day, is it always about price? Not always. And the ones where you will win on are the ones that you find out that they are exactly that, not just about the price, that you have another problem to solve. All right. What else do we do when we're in a situation where the seller wants more than it's worth, and they're not budging? What do you do? Yes, sir. Offering time in the home. Okay. What else? They want exactly retail. They want what it's worth. What do we do? What does a smart real estate investor do? Give them a competitive offer. Okay. What are we trying to solve for? Yes, sir. Giving them their asking price with terms, which is basically, I will be happy to pay your full price at $1 a day. And somebody do an amortization table for me at 1% interest, how long that's going to take to get to, right? Just like the lottery. With the lottery, you can get the full amount, but you're basically getting $1 a day, right? For the next 20 or whatever it may be, right? So that's one way to do it. So I can either meet your price or I can meet your terms. What else? What else? Pay all the closing costs. Okay. What else? Cash offer. Yeah. What else? What else you got? You're number 18. What else you got? Sorry. Yeah. What else you got? Relationship. That's wonderful with people who that are not just about the price, right? And no matter what, you need to be building a relationship with someone. And I'm going to give you the exact book that you guys need to be reading to make sure you understand how to build that relationship. Well, tell me guys, who are some of the buyers that are in the market right now, besides all of us individual real estate investors that are sitting in this room? Who are some of our buyers? Who are some of our competition? Industrial buyers? Commercial buyers? Who? Hedge funds? Who else? iBuyer? Somebody say iBuyer? iBuyers. Does anybody know what an iBuyer, like Open Door, Redfin, does anybody know what they make on average every time they buy and sell a house in the Dallas market? They lose money, actually. In fact, on average, they lose about $8,000 a transaction. What? Did you guys hear that? How can they do that? Is anybody thinking that? You know what? I think they have like $1 billion valuation and they haven't made a single cent. You know what I would like to do? I like to help them lose money. Today is good, right? I can put it under contract with someone full price and I can immediately sell it to an iBuyer who's willing to pay, in some cases, more than full price. So understand our real estate investor, what we call our maximum allowable offer formula, is 70% of the ARV minus repairs. Yes, everybody knows that? 70% of the ARV minus repairs. 70%. ARV stands for after repair value, after repair value. So that's what I call solving for X, right? You're solving for your correct price, and your correct price for a buy, fix, and flip is that 70% of ARV minus repairs. So if you cannot solve for X, what do? You need to solve for Y. What the heck does that mean? That means find a buyer who will pay more than what you are willing to pay, because they're willing to risk more than what you are willing to risk, because they are willing to lose money on a transaction while they're building out their systems. What do you think about that? Just, yeah, go put it under contract. And then what happens if your iBuyer says no, or your hedge fund says no? What do? Get another hedge fund. I like the way you said that. I like that. It's like, it's either going to be your hedge fund or your hedge fund. I don't care. But what else do you do? What else do you do? Let's say all the other hedge funds, all the other 18 hedge funds, and there's more than that, but they all say no. What do you do? What do you go back to do? You go back to the seller and you say, I've got good news and I've got bad news. Good news is we can still close on time. Bad news is we got to work on the price, because I shop this to 18 hedge funds and 18 other cash buyers and 18 other investors that I met on Tuesday night who are active investors, and not a single one of them would touch this deal. Because you're buying it for 300 and it's worth 300 and it needs work. And then there's closing costs on the purchase. There's holding costs on the buy. And then, there's holding costs all the way through the transaction. There's closing costs when you go to resell it, right? So when you make a 70% of ARV minus repairs offer, how much do you make? How much do you profit? If you make a 70% of ARV minus repairs offer, you typically only make somewhere between 10 to 15% of your ARV. Okay, so let's do some quick math here, okay? ARV is 300. Repairs are 60,000. What is your offer? 240. You are fired, sir. 100. You are fired, ma'am. ARV is 300. Repairs are 60. I know what the offer is. No. What's 68? No. All right, whoa. Lock the doors, honey. We got a math problem in here. We're not leaving until we get this. I'm going to give you another shot at this too. 300,000 times 70% is what? 210. 210 minus the $60,000 in repairs means your offer is 150. Holy cow, we've got some major problems in this room. I don't think you investors are making any money. 168, that was cute. 240, that's a great way to lose money on that deal. 240 is a great way to lose money on that deal. So if I said you're making somewhere between 10 to 15% of your ARV, let's hope we get this one right. How much are you making? Don't all answer at once. 30 to 45,000, 10 to 15% of your ARV, 30 to 45,000. In what scenario do you make 30,000? When you have a high cost of capital, when you're bringing on a hard money lender as your lender, right? In what scenario do you make 45? When you are an all cash buyer with all of your own cash and you don't really have a cost of capital. Everybody got that? So I want to give you another shot at this formula thing. All right. ARV is 200. Repairs are 40. What is your offer? $100. 70% times 200,000 is 140. 140 minus 40,000 in repairs is 100. You guys need to be able to run these off like when you were in third grade and had those little tables that you would do this with. You guys need to know this formula. But it's really honestly only important if you want to make money, right? So please, everybody got this? Everybody feel good about this? Do I need to go through one more example? Okay, ARV is 100. Repairs are 20. What is your offer? 50. All right. That's a little bit of a trick question because do we want to use the 70% of ARV formula on properties that are valued at 100,000 or less? That's a little bit of a trick question. Do we want to use that formula when the property is valued at 100,000 or less? Your profit margin percentage is the same. It's 10 to 15%, which is $10,000 to $15,000 on a $100,000 house. But, oh man, has anybody replaced an air conditioner lately? How much? $6,000. Anybody else replaced a more expensive air conditioner lately? How much? It was $12,000. You got ripped off. You got a super deal. Or you bought that air conditioner like 3 years ago. Who else? Anybody else buy an air conditioning system, a full home air conditioning system recently? Someone's like 2-ton unit, 15 SEER, Bryant. So we're seeing prices like $6,000 to $8,000. Okay, $6,000 to $8,000. So if you have a surprise on that house that you're making 10 to 15%, which is $10,000 to $15,000 on a $100,000 house, that $8,000, let's say, AC system, well, that's half of, if not most of, your profit. So on the lower end, an accident, a mistake in your calculation for your repairs really hurts. Basically, it kind of feels like what it's like to work at Walmart, right? Except without the air conditioning. Hold on my calls, please. Thank you. So when you are dealing with a lower end house, of course, we have very few of those $100,000 houses within probably a 45-minute drive of where we're at right now. But once you get outside of that 45-minute drive, then some of these houses become a lot cheaper. So if you're investing in one of those houses, you have to be very careful in terms of really making sure that you've got your ARV and your repairs exactly on point and to make sure you don't have any surprises. But probably my least favorite quote in real estate investing over the last almost 2 decades of investing is, my renovation project came in on time and on budget. Who said that? Said no one ever, right? Is that true? That's true, right? Even if you are left brain, got everything in the spreadsheet, checked every box, know exactly what's going to happen here. So you have to be careful on the lower end properties. Now let's talk about the higher end properties. Let's talk about a property that has a $50,000 ARV where you're looking to make somewhere between 50 and 75K. If you're using that 70% of ARV minus repairs formula and you're the only bidder, you're probably okay. But if you're using that formula and there are multiple bidders, are there going to be some people who are going to bid more than what you might bid? Why? Well, because there's less risk at that $500,000 mark. Because if you have a surprise air conditioning system at $6,000 to $8,000, well, that sucks. That's a technical term, but you're still making a lot of money, right? So you'll see a lot of people go higher than that 70% of ARV minus repairs number once you get above 500,000 and lower when you get below 100,000. So that formula is kind of our universal soldier, but it's kind of like a distribution curve, right? Where on the ends, you might change it a little bit on either side. Does everybody understand that? So when you are finding these sellers who say, I want to sell for full retail, listen, if you can't beat them, join them, right? Get it under contract, sell it to an iBuyer. Who else can you sell it to? Who else might you be able to sell it to? Any landlords in the room? Just curious. Landlords besides me? Okay, a couple of you guys. May I ask you a question, sir? How did you buy your rental property that you currently have right now? You bought it through a short sale. You bought it off the MLS? No. Okay, that's unusual because most short sales have to be listed by an agent. Okay. All right. Sir, you said you had one? MLS. So when you bought on the MLS, did you roughly pay full retail? Okay. 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 On the Dallas MLS, don't quote me exactly on this. I could pull it up if you guys gave me a couple moments up here. Somebody else can pull it up for me. If you go to netris.net and you click on market statistics, it will show you on average what someone is paying versus list price. So it compares list price to sales price. On average here in the Dallas market, it's probably around 99%. Anybody who owns rental property bought it off the MLS? Anybody who owns rental property, would you mind asking about what you paid for that property versus list price? It was listed for $150. I paid $153. You're not in the minority right now. Okay. A lot of people are paying full price for these properties. So who could you go and sell your full price property to? If not an iBuyer, then there are a lot of landlords who will pay close to full price. Now, who are the landlords? Because I know you, Landon, a little bit, right? So we got to meet and talk a little bit earlier. Who are some of the landlords that would be willing to pay full price and maybe even a little bit more because they have a different exit strategy or a different holding strategy? Well, I know you know the answer, but I want to let them answer too. Say that again. Landon, do you know anything about short-term rentals? Do you know anything about Airbnbs? Do you know anything about being a super host? Yes, he does. So does Landon necessarily care what he's paying as long as he can rent it and get that ROI that way? The answer is no. So who could you also shop your full price property to? Besides Landon, but Landon, right? So that's another option as well, especially if you have a unique property, especially if it's something that, what I've seen, personally for Airbnb type properties is the 3-bedroom, 2-bath house is kind of like, it's in that 80%. But if you can get something that really sleeps a lot of people, and I don't care if you have queen or bunk beds, and literally like one of my friends who does Airbnb, almost exclusively, like in every room in his house, he has a queen bunk bed. Why? Because that room now sleeps 4 instead of 2. So on some of these very unique properties that have more bedrooms, there's an opportunity for you to sell it to another to another investor who might be willing to pay full price, who might not be able to find a property on the MLS, because right now here in Dallas, we have about a 1-month supply of inventory. Okay. Do you guys have some now alternatives for the seller who says, I only want full price? Okay, one person in this room does after that really long talk. So I'm so glad I'm just connecting with you guys all tonight. It really feels wonderful and fantastic. So I've got some list of books for you guys to read here. And I don't see on here. Yeah, it's the next slide that's on here, the one I want you to read. So one of you guys said, and I told you I was going to come back to that, is how do you connect with someone? How do you build a relationship with someone? Which one of these books do you think is going to tell you how to build that relationship? So you guys see any books on the screen right here? Start with why, Simon Sinek. Has anyone in here listened to his 18-minute and 4-second TED Talk? Yes. Okay, a couple of you guys. One of the top 5 most downloaded TED Talks in the history of TED Talks. Okay, I want to say he gave it in about 2008. I've literally listened to that TED Talk maybe around 20 different times, about 20 different times. And the main thing that he's trying to describe to you guys and to all of his readers, me too, is that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. What the heck does that mean? There's the what, there's the how, and there's the why. So when you're connecting with someone, some of you guys said, well, I buy cash. Yes, you in a room full of 150 other people. What else you got on you? That's what you do. That's what we do as real estate investors. We buy for cash. Somebody says, well, I saw big problems. Yes, you and 150 other investors saw big problems. Well, I'll buy it as is. You and 150 other people. What am I telling you guys? You are a commodity. You are a commodity. How much money do commodities make? People will say, well, you can make a lot of money if you're trading in volume, but if you're trading in a few deals a month or a few deals a year, not going to work out too well. If you're just, like literally, like I'm at a 4-way stop. I need gas. Gas is a commodity. I'm looking at the prices and I'm making my decision. Is that how you guys want to be summed up? One person really says no? It should be every single one of you. Who wants to be a commodity? Nobody. You're not gonna make a good living if that's all you are about. People buy why you do it, why you are here. Does anybody in here have a good story about why they are an investor? Does anybody have a good story about why they're an investor, why they're here other than making money? Yes, ma'am. Because I sold my house to an investor and I did not know that he was taking me to the cleaners. Keep going. It made me feel like SHIT. And I don't want anyone else to feel that way. Do you want to sell to her or do you want to sell to the cash buyer? I want to sell to her. I want to sell to her. Do you guys follow that? Please do me just one small little favor. Watch that Simon Sinek TED Talk on YouTube. When you're driving out of here, 10 and 2 is my rule for all driving, but play it on your way out of here. 18 minutes and 4 seconds. It will change how you communicate with others, no matter what business you are in, no matter what you sell. no matter what business you in and no matter what you sell, but especially for us as real estate investors. Anybody else got a good origin story that they're going to use as their why? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Retired principal, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh. So she said, I'm blessed in that I'm going to be the first kid in my family to break a generational curse. And to build income and to build wealth. Is that where we're going? To build and to teach. I don't know. I might want to sell to her now, right? But I've only literally heard 2 of you that have said, like, this is my why. This is why I'm up here. This is why I'm investing. If you want to connect with someone, you share your why. If you want to be a commodity, you just buy houses for cash. Is that an okay lesson for you guys to take away? Yes. Okay, good. We're going to get started with another part of the presentation. I've had some different slides going in the background tonight just to kind of give you a little bit information about us. And guys, I will say as we transition here, let's see here, as we transition